Hey, what's up? Nathan here from P8 Studios. Welcome to another tutorial from the Tower Defense Content Series, TDCS, that I call it for short. And what this is a Garageband tutorial. And what this tutorial is going to do is it's going to just show you an example of the song I made with the given loops that Garageband gives you. Now this was before I got the jam pack for the symphony orchestra, so these all should be built into, I think I updated it to version 11. I originally created it with GarageBand 09, and when I upgraded it, they removed some of the loops, so I had to rearrange some things, but hopefully I copied the updated version over. Let's just have a look at that. Alright, so this is the GarageBand 11 version. So the latest one, I did get the updated one. Now let's go ahead and bring this down. And let's bring this out too. Now this is the very first song I made with this project, and I've ever made with GarageBand. So I do have some piano rolls in here that I created, just to spice it up a little bit. But everything else is based on loops that I added. I used the track volume, and I created a lines here that will. This means that it's not playing. Then I add a point here and a point here. That means that the dB of the volume goes from here to here in this amount of time. And likewise with all this up here. And since this was the very first one I created, it does not look as complex as the other ones. But I like the sound of it, so I released it, and hopefully people will enjoy listening to the song as well. I modified the pitch and all sorts of settings. I think I gave it some... this one. I do not know if I gave it... I gave it a phaser surrounding. And all that stuff combined is the effect that you hear. Even though it's a given loop, I added additional effects on some of them. +1 pitch, -2 pitch, stuff like that to get it to sound quite right. Again, this was my very first project and song I ever created with GarageBand, so it's not that complex. But I enjoyed it, and I hope you will too. So now let's look at another one, the second one I created, which is the forest theme right here. Now this theme has a lot more stuff going on in it. I spent a lot more time on it, and I created some other software instruments that were not included, and there were some piano rolls here. These were included though. I had spiced it up a little bit by adding more to the piano roll, stuff like that. And this just has a lot more stuff going on in it than the other one did. So these are the two songs that I created with loops. And these are very short songs, not that complex songs, since they're very first ones that I started with. And let me just turn this volume down here. And you've heard of this before. And while you're playing, if you want to listen to, now there's one track going on, but if you wanted to listen to, let's say, the synth bass, I can click this here and it'll solo that, so I can just hear that track alone. Now if I wanted to do the opposite, which is hear everything but that, I click this button here, and that mutes it. And that, combined with the one that I did before, I have the track volume here that I kind of fade down and then fade up. So this gives a quieter synth bass effect than the other ones did. I do not think I modified any pitch here. Does not look like that. But those are the very first songs I made from the Garageband, and this one's a lot more complex than the first one. And that's it for this tutorial. It was just going a brief overview on what kind of songs I made. And I talked about the track volume, how to manipulate the track volume as it's progressing through the timeline. You can go from soft to loud to soft again, or soft to loud and leave it stay that way, or all sorts of stuff. You can create a cool effect and make it all wacky, and it might sound good depending on the track you have provided in there. So with that said, I got the Garageband for the iPad, and that really helped me enhance some things and create some more additional customized stuff for the software instruments. And it's customized due to me pressing it, or if you've played the Garageband for the iPad, it'll give you something like smart drums to help you out. So these are all software instruments that are created with the iPad version. And let me just play this. And this took about an hour or 2 hours of me trying some things and it not working properly, so I had to delete the track, try something else, and just all sorts of stuff. And it's not finished yet. I'm thinking this might be a good credit song. Now, I did not release this in the one video the audio showcase or audio trailer or whatever you want to call it. I did not release that song. And I also did not release the Endless song, and I'm working on a new snow theme. So the Endless song is going to be a techno based, and that's purely, I'm trying to make it as purely software instrument as I possibly can, with the additional sound effects from my game, like the dark laugh. And we'll get into all this stuff as we progress throughout the tutorial series, how to modify the piano roll and things like that. What does this mean? It's trackpan, and I'll get into all that stuff. So, next tutorial. Instead of demonstrating the ones I already created, we're going to create a sample song when we combine loops effectively. Now, anybody can go in and drag one loop in with another loop, but even though that was my very first song, it took me about 2 hours to do because I wanted to get it to sound just right. And I just grabbed a bunch of similar loops together and adjusted the pitches and stuff like that. Alright, so I hope to see you next time.